pulled the throttle handle and suddenly it went from second to first gear. Don't go to D mode. Trust me, the bike's in charge, you don't want that. Whoa, I don't feel 100% fully in control of this bike. Oh, I did it again. You see? Okay, so now I know it for sure. If you push the throttle handle more than 80%, it goes down. Hey guys, what's up? It's the Yamaha Tracer 9 GT Y-AMT that I'm testing today. I just came back from the test with the MT09, also the Y-AMT, which means automatic transmission. You don't have a clutch anymore, so you're not using the left side of your body. No hands, no left hand, no left foot. So yeah, if you want to watch that, you can watch the video on top. The Yamaha MT09 test, but right now it's the Tracer 9 GT, so it's a real touring bike, but it has the exact same engine as the MT09 and also exactly the same as the R9, the new Yamaha R9. All right, let's see. That's so odd. I had the same thing with the MT09. So it's in D+ mode, which means the sport mode of automatic transmission. I pulled the throttle handle and suddenly it went from second to first gear and I didn't push any buttons. And the exact same thing happened to me with the MT09, and it's a bit scary though when you go 80 plus kilometers an hour and he suddenly just switch back to first gear when he should go to third gear. Right, this is D+ mode, so I can also manually interrupt the gears. Here's a minus button, and on the other side with my index finger there's a plus button, so I can go up or down with the gears. So right now I'm in 6, I'll go to 4th, boom, 3rd, boom, yes, and we go up, 4th, 5th. So yeah, you can use your fingers to interrupt the automatic gearing if you feel like to. If you feel to doing that, yeah, in my case, I'm not really, you know, I've tested the MT09 and I didn't like D mode, so therefore I just started with D+ mode. D mode means the bike decides everything when it's going to switch in gears, going up or going down. The bike decides, and that means the bike is in charge, and that's a really weird feeling when you're riding a bike with 119 horsepower. It's a lot. So 3-cylinder, of course, it's only available in the mid-range. You will not be shocked by the power in the low range though, but trust me, if you ride this bike, go to D+ mode. You do this by this button, mode. You can change from D to D+. And here with my right index finger on the back there's a mode for, or a button to switch to manual transmission. Then you are the one in charge, shifting the gears here on the left with plus and minus. Now it's semi-automatic and you can do this. Yeah, and that's perfect. That's perfect because it's automatic, but if I decide to change gears because I want to, I just do it and it works. So D+ mode, perfect. Don't go to D mode. Trust me, the bike's in charge, you don't want that. So later on we go to manual transmission with this button on the right. We're gonna do that later on. First of all, we're going to test it a bit further, that D+ mode, because that is pretty convenient, pretty comfortable. Okay, so yeah, it's the exact same engine as the MT09, but I didn't really like the ergonomics of the bike, especially when you're 2 meters tall. You need a big bike. This feels like a pretty big bike. Wide, it's massive, yeah. but not that massive that you have the feeling that you're on a big Harley or whatever. No, just the way you expect it to be, you know, a Tracer, a cruiser. Or is the cruiser not more touring bike, of course? They're always a bit bigger. They're really focusing on comfort, of course. I prefer this sitting position way more than the MT-09. Way more. And because you have the same engine, I'm really thinking at this stage, what are the pros of a MT-09 instead of a Tracer 9? If you have the exact same engine and you have more comfort, perhaps it's a bit more, it has a bit more weight, because yeah, it's a bit bigger, so it carries a bit more weight, so it will be a bit less fast as the MT-09 is. But yeah, that few kilos, is that really going to make a big difference? Not sure. No, for now I'm really enjoying this ride, because it sits really comfortable. Nevertheless, still the angle, the knee angle for my legs is a bit aggressive. So the lean angle is yeah, quite big, or low, I have to say. Maybe that's better to describe it. And when you 2 meters tall, you're going to feel that eventually, trust me, even after 10 minutes already. You see, it's automatic, it changes gears, but it's sport mode. So D Plus is some sort of sport mode. So if you really want to open up that throttle handle, it will not instantly change gears, you know, because yeah, it's sport mode. Come on, just get the revs out of it. It's a 3-cylinder, so you need to get that revs. It's coming alive at 6,000 RPM, so it doesn't make any sense to switch gears at 3,000 if you want to have a sporty, racy ride. Whoa! Oh, you saw what happened again? Ah, maybe now I understand. It's sport mode. D Plus is automatic sport mode, but the thing that happened, if I push the throttle handle more than 80%, so almost full throttle, it thinks you wanna give it a blast, you know, and therefore it lowers the gears. So if you're in third and you open up the throttle handle, it thinks you want to go to second and go really fast in just a few seconds of time, but that's not really the case. I wanted to go full throttle because I was in third gear and I knew it was possible in third gear, but it just switched back to second gear. And then the bike is in charge, not you, because I didn't expect that. So for me, that's a real con. I don't want the bike to decide when I go full throttle I should go to second gear instead of staying in third gear. It feels really uncomfortable, and when it happens, the revs go up, the sound goes up, the vibration go up, and that's a bit scary. So I'm not a fan. Not a fan. I did it again, you see? Okay, so now I know it for sure. If you push the throttle handle more than 80%, it goes down one gear. So I was in fourth gear and I knew, okay, I can go full throttle because I'm in fourth gear, I know what to expect. But if you go full throttle, it goes down to third gear and then poof! Ah, that's scary. So keep in mind, if you're in D Plus mode, you go full throttle, it goes down one gear, and that's scary sometimes. Therefore we have manual mode. I'm going to switch it now because I don't like it here on the right. My right index finger, pats, and it went to street mode. Okay, that means I have to switch gears the entire time. So now I have to switch it to 1, 2, 3, 4. The thing is, if you now go to if you want to stop the bike and you actually forget to get it back to first gear, it will eventually kick in the automatic gears and will get the bike back to first gear. So no worries if you forget. Okay, we'll test it out so I can show it to you. So next time up, when I'm braking and almost standing still, I'm not going to change the gears to third, second, first, but we'll let the bike do it. And that's a great feature. That's a great feature. This bike doesn't have the in-hill features here on the tank as the MT-09 has. You would think it's a shame though, but the sound is exactly the same as the MT-09. I don't notice any difference. So that in-hill sound, maybe it works with a different exhaust, but for me, with this standard exhaust, you don't feel or hear anything because of that in-hill feature. Yeah, my legs are already hurting. So yeah, that lean or that knee angle, your sitting position, it's not comfortable, and it's exactly the same as that MT-09. And you would expect when you're riding a touring bike, which is made for, you know, all road, but mainly for longer rides, that it should be more, offer you more comfort, but that's not the case. But I have to say, this bike gives me way more fun and excitement than the MT-09. I feel more under control because of the great sitting position next to my legs, of course, because that angle is not comfortable. But yeah, I'm enjoying myself on this bike. And I can really imagine when you're not as tall as I am, 2 meters, and you're like 180, 85, that knee angle will not give you any discomfort, and then it will be a great bike to ride for, you know, an hour, 2 hour. You can easily do a 2-hour ride with this bike. I have no pain, my wrists, back, neck, whatever, whatsoever. So yeah, it's a great day. Again, it's around 27 degrees. Dutch summers, you never know what to expect. One day it can be rainy and grey, and the day after it can be 27 degrees. Only sunshine. Thankfully that's the day. I switched back myself. I was changing gears myself. I should have done it the other way, where Yamaha decides to switch back the gears, because that's part of the Y-AMT program. Yeah, so if you're planning to test this bike, make sure in advance, don't go to D mode. It will decide everything for you. That's not what you want. Go to D+. You can still manually switch gears, but be aware, if you go full throttle, it will switch back a gear below, from fourth to third or from third to second, and that can be quite dangerous in some situations. So just go to manual. You can do it by yourself with your thumb and your index finger, and that works perfect. So yeah, it has 119 horsepower, and that's, yeah, this is the same engine as the Yamaha R9, which is dominating right now the World Supersport Championship. With Munzi, yes, it's Munzi. He's going to become the next World Supersport Champion for 2025 probably, and he already signed a contract to go to World Superbikes to race for the Yamaha World Superbike team. But currently he's dominating the World Supersport Championship with this 3-cylinder. So this engine, yeah, dominating World Supersport right now. So trust me, it's a great engine. But of course in the World Supersport Championship they're not using Y-AMT with automatic transmission. No, they do it by themselves. And I think that's the only way to go with this engine. You do it yourself. So just use your hands. You have more control. You can play with it. You're in charge of the bike, not the other way around then. Agility is the same as the MT-09 actually. Yeah, it's really similar to the MT-09. But the sitting position is just better. I really think this bike is better than the MT-09. And it's really all round as well, so yeah, if you're going for looks, probably it's the MT-09, which is the best option for you. But if you want an all-round bike with a lot of power, easy to handle, great comfort, just go for this Tracer 9 GT and not the MT-09. I would. My legs are really hurting right now. I think I'm only, what is it, 20 minutes in? Not even 20 minutes in for this ride, 15 minutes. And I have to stretch my legs the entire time, left and right. I think Yamaha is not really concerned about tall riders. It's still an Asian brand though. Nevertheless, a lot of European countries have very tall people, including the Netherlands, including me. And they want to buy a proper bike as well that fit their needs. So yeah. Even with this manual transmission system, I don't feel 100% fully in control of this bike, because sometimes it still behaves a bit weird, a bit nervous. I don't know. The way the torque, the power comes out after a few thousand RPM, it's not linear. It's a bit of just suddenly, and it goes up in power. It's a bit tricky, yeah. Normally in a few minutes I already know what to expect, you know, when I open the throttle handle, and now I'm a bit cautious, yeah. And I have to think every time I'm using the automatic clutch, the manual clutch, the manual transmission like this, but I have to think about it. And normally when I'm on a bike, I'm not thinking about using the clutch or changing gears. It's just, you know, you do it in your subconsciousness. It's not that hard. And now I have to think about everything that I'm doing. You know, when you're starting out with motorcycles and you have to get your driver's license, in the beginning, everything that you do, you have to think about it. That's why it's so hard. And by doing it more and more often, it's getting into your system and you don't have to think about it eventually. It just works. Your brain is trained to do it automatically, and now because all the different things you have to do, I feel like I'm just starting out with motorcycles again, getting my driver's license. So you need to put effort in it to understand the system. It's not as easy as you would expect. No. So, can we compare it to any other bike? I tested the Tracer 7 last year. To be quite honest, I didn't record it. I can't really recall. I think it was really mediocre, because I cannot really recall if I liked it or not. But is there any other bike that I can compare it to? Yeah, maybe the CF Moto 800 MTX. I wasn't that pleased with that bike. It had less horsepower, maybe that was the case, around 95, which is still okay, but yeah, that was a true all-road, you know, and I wanted to test it on normal road. It doesn't work. So yeah, like I said, it has power. It has power though. Of course, it's a super sport transformed to a touring bike, but it has power. So yeah, like I said, the CF Moto 800 MTX, which is an all-rounder and more like an off-road, especially when you look at the tires, that's a true off-road. Yeah, and I tested it on normal roads like this, and yeah, that's why it was disappointing. This is a touring, not an off-road, it's a touring bike. Whoa. Ah, you see, it happened again. Again, it went to second gear. Is it me? Am I pushing it down in gears with my thumb without even knowing it? I'm not sure, but that's not a great feeling. When you push the throttle handle and bats, it goes back one gear. Whew. That's why I don't feel max comfort on this bike. Sometimes this bike is under control and not a pleasant feeling. Not a pleasant feeling. But yeah, if you compare it to that CF Moto, this has a lot of excitement, because yeah, a super sport machine transformed into a touring bike. So it's fast. It's absolutely fast. And okay, so we have to wait for the others. One other thing I have to mention, the indicator. This is different than other bikes. I will give me a sec. Yes, I will explain to you why. Because you have left and you have right. You don't have a neutral position. So if you want to use the indicator to go left, you push left. Here you can see it. And if you want to disable it, you do it again. So 2 times left or 2 times right. And also that is, you would say it's easy. Yes, 2 times left or 2 times right. But it's different. So you have to think about it in the beginning. And also with the manual transmission with your fingers, it's a bit too much. And I would have suggested Yamaha to just change one thing to start with, so people can adjust to it, because now it's a bit too much. So you have the indicators, you have the manual transmission, and you have the engine going down 1 gear if you go nearly full throttle. It's a brain overload. Yeah. I'm gonna give my final verdict, because I believe I've seen enough of this bike. It's gonna be better than the MT-09. That's for sure. I think comfort wise, the sitting position, brakes, it's all really good, but looking at how this behaves, that Y-AMT system, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced at all. They have to optimize it further, put more time and effort in it to optimize it so people can use it without even thinking about it. But now you have to think about it all the time. It's too much, and there's still a bit of hiccups in the system, which makes it really uncomfortable. But if you have a big trip planned, 1 hour, 2 hours, maybe you're going on a full moto vacation, yeah, this bike will suit you, of course. I'm too tall for this, you know, that knee angle is a bit too much. But if you're not as tall as I am, you will, it will feel really decent for you and really comfortable. But for me, I gave a bad rating comfort wise for the MT-09. I'm gonna give this a 5 and a no 5. No, 5.5. Five and a half, and that's mainly because of the Y-AMT system. If they optimize it in the near future, it can easily go up, and if they do something about that knee angle as well, whoa, it can be a really good bike comfort wise. Excitement, this is better than the MT-09. Not sure why. I think it's because you're sitting really comfortably, therefore you have more confidence of using that power that is there in the mid-range. With the MT-09 I was a bit more struggling with the sitting position really up front, and this is really easy. Lay low, and then you can focus on getting the max torque and max power out of it. So it will be better than the MT-09. I give it a 7+. Yeah. But also, yeah, it has enough power, but in most cases I don't dare to go full throttle anymore because I don't want it to switch back a gear, and that happened now 2-3 times also with the MT-09. It's a weird feeling, a lot of discomfort. So yeah, those are the ratings for this bike. Let me know what you think.